Today is Monday, January 20th, 2025. Yes, that Monday, January 20th, 2025. And this is the 47 Daily Podcast, and it's Inauguration Day. And how excited is everybody? Everybody is stoked. I'm live here in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration, and it has been an electric atmosphere, to say the least. Even though it's cold, it's a cold electric atmosphere. It's like freezing cold and also electric, which is great because the electricity keeps you a little bit warm. But it's been an exciting day, and yesterday, President Donald Trump began the inauguration ceremonies with a victory rally at the arena right around the corner from where we are right now, right around the corner from the Capitol building. Like 120,000 people lined up for an arena that seats about 20,000 people. The line began, I want to say 3-4 in the morning. By 7 o'clock, it was all the way around the corner. And then around 5:30 p.m., they finally started letting people in for what was probably one of the most memorable rallies I'm sure Donald Trump has ever given. His last rally, too, because, after this, there'll be no more campaigning. There'll be no more need for rallies. So everybody that was in attendance last night was super excited, again, to see President Donald Trump perform for the final time. And he did not disappoint, letting everybody know how amazing today was going to be as we kick off the new golden age.
Tomorrow at noon, the curtain closes on 4 long years of American decline, and we begin a brand new day of American strength and prosperity, dignity and pride. Bringing it all back. Once and for all, we're going to end the reign of a failed and corrupt political establishment in Washington, a failed administration. We're not going to take it anymore. We're going to stop the invasion of our borders. We're going to reclaim our wealth. We're going to unlock the liquid gold that's right under our feet, liquid gold. We're going to bring back law and order to our cities. We're going to restore patriotism to our schools, get radical left, woke ideologies the hell out of our military and out of our government. And we are going to make America great again.
And then he brought out the Village People for a live performance of YMCA, which, on a side note, if you drive around D.C., and by drive around, I mean walk, because you can't really drive around anywhere in D.C., but if you drive around D.C. anywhere, you're going to be hearing YMCA blaring from various different vehicles. There are little, rickshaw bicycles that are blaring YMCA. Every now and then you'll walk by a bar or some kind of restaurant, and YMCA, which I guess is the new unofficial national anthem, or the new unofficial national anthem of the Donald Trump administration. It's a very popular tune here in Washington, D.C. this week, and I imagine it will be for the next 4 years. But President Trump had a lot more to say. He was really kind of outlining what's going to happen today at noon. And again, what's going to happen today at noon is, first of all, President Donald Trump will be inaugurated at the Capitol Rotunda. There were rumors that they'd moved it again to the White House. There were rumors that they were moving it here and there. No, it will be at the Capitol Rotunda. The Secretary of, what's his name? Not Secretary of State. It's the Speaker of the House. I always get those two confused. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, gave a tour on his, I don't know what it was, on his social media of the Rotunda, so you can see just how small a venue it is.
Hey everybody, Speaker Mike Johnson here. We're right outside the People's House in the People's Rotunda. As you can see, as we pan around, there's a lot of activity being done here in the final moments before the inauguration of our 47th president. We had to kind of call an audible here. The weather outside is pretty fierce. It will be really even worse tomorrow. And so I know there are a lot of people disappointed because they wanted to be out on that National Mall. We would have had hundreds of thousands of people, but we had to do it this way, and I think it's better, as President Trump said, because of the weather, for everyone in their best interest. But I just wanted to show you very briefly this stage here in the Rotunda. Many of you, I'm sure, have been here before. This is normally a blank and open floor. They built this entire apparatus in about a 24-hour period. The staff's done an extraordinary job, having called this audible to do this. Hasn't been done like this in 40 years, since 1985 under Ronald Reagan. This one, they tell me, though, will be even more grand. So I'll be walking the president out here tomorrow for a glorious day in the beginning of a new golden age in America. The Capitol building, pan up and just show everybody just the grandeur of the place. This Capitol Dome is the most recognized symbol in all the world. It recognizes, it symbolizes freedom to people everywhere. And tomorrow we will celebrate our great republic here and the inauguration of our 47th president, Donald J. Trump. We're so excited. You can watch along on television, but I know so many of you will be here in spirit. God bless you. Go America.
And as you can see, that is a much smaller venue than they originally anticipated. The original anticipated venue being the Washington Mall, which could seat 250,000 people, or at least hold 250,000 people, myself included. But now with the Capitol Rotunda being the venue for the ceremony, it's so tight in there that not even all the members of Congress will be able to attend. Not that all the members of Congress were going to attend anyway. We know there's some notable no-shows. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said she ain't going. Nancy Pelosi, she said she ain't going. Jasmine Crockett said she ain't going. But even with the no-shows, it's so tight in the Capitol Rotunda that Congress people and senators will be able to attend, but many of them will not be able to bring their spouses. In fact, I was with a congressman yesterday who said, I'm trying to figure out a way to break it to my wife that she will not be attending the inauguration of President Donald Trump. So don't feel bad if you're not there, because most people are not there. But Donald Trump, he had, like I said, he wanted to reach out to the fans. He wanted to talk to as many MAGA supporters as he possibly could. And that is why he held that rally once again at the Capital One Arena in downtown Washington, D.C. And he talked, like I said, about all the things he's got planned for today, including closing the border.
By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home.
Yeah, oh, that's it. And they're going to be on their way back home, whether we send them there or whether they go there on their own, which a lot of people, we're hearing that a lot of these illegal immigrants who've come in over the last 4 years, understanding what's at stake with Tom Homan and the raids and the mass deportation and ICE agents raiding their homes and businesses, they understand now that's not something they want to encounter. So there's a lot of what we're finding out of self-deportations happening all around in anticipation of what's going to happen today at 12 noon when Donald Trump signs all of his executive orders, hundreds, by the way, of executive orders. And one of them, not only executive orders, but of course, there is a stack of pardons in there as well. And President Donald Trump mentioned who he's going to pardon on day one.
And tomorrow, everybody in this very large arena will be very happy with my decision on the J6 hostages. Very happy.
And as you can see, the crowd went wild. They were very happy. They were very excited to hear all about. They're excited for everything. They're excited for the war in Ukraine to end.
I will end the war in Ukraine. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III from happening. And you have no idea how close we are.
Yeah, and I feel like those are all good things. Stopping World War III from happening, that's a very good thing. And Donald Trump promises that's one of the things he's going to tackle on day one, which, of course, is today. Now, as far as what happens today, as we said before, there's a slew of executive orders that Donald Trump will be signing. As soon as he leaves the Capitol Rotunda, heads to the White House, he'll go to the Resolute desk. And here's a list of just some of the things he's going to do. President-elect Trump's 200 day one executive orders will, A, close the border to all illegal aliens via proclamation and declare a national emergency at the border, direct designations of cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, reinstitute remain in Mexico, catch and release, and direct the military to construct a new phase of the border wall, fully unleash Alaskan energy, terminate Biden policies that have constrained U.S. supply. I imagine that includes the Keystone Pipeline. Return federal workers to in-person work. Strengthen control over senior government officials, and implement a new merit-based hiring system and review, which is something that has been a problem and that's basically an effort to undo all of the DE&I initiatives that have just really riddled and poisoned the effectiveness of the federal government suspends security clearances for the 51 national security officials who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop ahead of the 2020 presidential election. End all DEI programs across the federal government. Establish a new Department of Government Efficiency hiring freeze, meaning they're not going to hire anyone else. Declare a national energy emergency and pause all offshore wind leases. Withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord, direct all agencies and departments to remove all federal actions that increase costs for families and consumers. All that on day one of President Trump's inauguration. You can imagine if that's all on day one, imagine what happens on the other, I guess, 1,240. I don't even know how many days are left, but there's going to be a lot of them. And if that's what he's doing on day one, I can only imagine how effective he's going to be on all of the other days. One other big piece of news that happened yesterday, which I know a lot of people were very excited about, myself included, is that Donald Trump was able to negotiate a deal which brought TikTok back, and people were just over the moon.
And as of today, TikTok is back.
Now, he said he's going to extend it 90 days. He said that as soon as I imagine that's going to be in one of the stacks of executive orders that he'll be signing today. But President Donald Trump said, I saved TikTok. We're going to give him 90 days. We're going to investigate a way for American ownership or there to be some kind of co-ownership between America and China so that it is not... and so that it doesn't disappear, and so that all of the Americans who use TikTok for beneficial means, either as communication or advertising or marketing or to sell their products, all the small business owners and influencers who are earning a living from their TikTok stories and their TikTok posts, Donald Trump said we can't abandon them, but at the same time we've got to protect our country, and so he's going to give TikTok 90 days, and he himself said he will be working diligently along with China and TikTok to figure out a way to make TikTok great again. Now, as far as the festivities go, everything has been canceled. The inaugural ceremony at the Capitol building, where Donald Trump was going to walk out on the platform and he was going to be sworn in by Chief Justice John Roberts, all of that has been canceled. It's been moved indoors to the rotunda, as we spoke earlier. The official claim is because of weather, the sub-zero temperatures, which I mentioned earlier. However, there are a lot of security concerns as well, and a lot of people speculate that the security concerns were the main issue. As you walk around Washington, D.C. today, there are National Guard troops, there are sheriffs, there are military, there's Humvees everywhere, there's sirens blaring, there's lights flashing. It is a fortress. There's a wall around pretty much the entire Capitol building. They're constantly closing and opening streets, and I imagine a lot more of that will happen today as President Trump makes his way around town. But keep in mind, you also have hundreds of thousands of revelers who came here to celebrate the inauguration, and they're all now displaced. Not to mention all of the protesters. So it's going to be an interesting day here in D.C. But a couple of things that we are excited about are that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who, by the way, Joe Biden has announced that he will be riding in the presidential limo to the Capitol building with President Donald Trump. That's a tradition that was not upheld last time around because, there were still some legal questions as to what happened during the election, and Donald Trump chose not to attend the inauguration. That was one of his final tweets, you may remember. But this time around, they'll be riding together to the Capitol building, and then Donald Trump will take the oath of office. I imagine Joe Biden will be there as well. Jill Biden, too. Michelle Obama will be noticeably absent. Again, that's been a point of speculation. And then Donald Trump will head to the White House, where he will immediately get to work. But no matter what happens, no matter where you watch it, and there are several viewing parties set up around Washington, D.C., no matter where you watch it, no matter where you see it, no matter what happens, just know that this is going to be a dramatically different country starting today. Today at noon, the United States of America is going to shift into hyperdrive. It's going to do a 180 from where it is. And I imagine we are all going to start seeing the benefits very, very quickly after President Donald Trump takes his hand off of that Bible and takes the oath of office. And I, for one, am very, very, very excited about it. Now, as far as the ceremonies go, we will be bringing you the ceremonies live today. I'll be, as I said before, I was scheduled to attend the ceremonies on the Washington Mall, but now that the National Mall now that the National Mall ceremony has been canceled, we'll be live streaming on our second daily podcast, Mark Kaye Saves the Republic. Mark Kaye Saves the Republic. So if you'd like to listen and watch along, we live stream, like I said, on every major platform. We're on Facebook and YouTube and Rumble. And then, of course, you can listen to it, throughout the day. If you go to Mark Kaye Saves the Republic on any of your podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify or iTunes, just Google Mark Kaye Saves the Republic. Download, listen, and enjoy.